Hi there. My name is Owen Bastable. I'm a trainer with Project React. Thanks so much for taking a look at this short video on reviewing expectations and your school-wide matrix. This is a lesson or guide that's designed for school teams. So I'd recommend, if you can, to do this with a team. And there are three things I want you to get from this. One is basically a system or process to do a review of your school matrix, this kind of step-by-step. Two is some school examples, and then three, most importantly, is practical application. So I will give you a worksheet that will walk through in more detail what I'm going to show you right now. So first of all, why do this? Well, one of the biggest reasons that comes to mind for me is that every year you've got a whole new group of students and parents coming into your building, and in the course of a couple of years, your entire school will have, depending on if it's elementary, middle, or high school, may have a whole new group of students coming through. So you want to make sure that your expectations still fit for them and matches their values and norms. The other thing I wanted to highlight is sometimes when we take another look at our expectations or behavior matrix, we will see that some of the language actually doesn't really reflect so much the students that we have today. Sometimes it even reflects more what staff values are. So we want to look at that and really be with a critical eye to see where we might need to make some updates. So here's kind of a simple how-to process. First, obviously, is identifying where expectations or matrices are posted around your school, and that might be a school-wide matrix, could be classroom rules, or a student handbook. Next, as a team, and we've done some of this work for you, but you may have some other ways of other questions as well, is thinking through some of these questions when you look at your matrix again. Again, you may not have really taken a close look at it recently. Does the matrix reflect any hidden biases? Does it include student-friendly language? And are there images included on your matrix that are representative of your students and your families that you're serving this year? Continuing on with assessing, a lot of times schools will stop with just including their PBIS team on reviewing or updating their matrix. And what I would recommend you doing is trying to figure out ways to include input from students, families, and community members. This will make for a much richer update to your matrix, and that might include collecting simple stakeholder input. And I'll give you some links to this in the guide that goes with this. You may also use information from climate surveys, or you may just ask parents in a newsletter one or two focus areas that you're working on. We're planning to make an update to our matrix, and we really want your input, and here's 2 questions. Something as simple as that. So a couple more steps is, once you've collected all your information, you want to make some revisions. And those are hopefully based on feedback that's not just from your staff, but also from students and families, as I just mentioned. And then you want to assess, again, in addition to that feedback, are some critical features being included in your matrix? And I want to come back to that in just a minute here, what those critical features are. And then finally, importantly, you want to reach agreement, and that might mean sending it out to staff and getting their approval. Does this reflect what we talked about? You might share this in a staff meeting. You might send it out in a parent newsletter. And then once you have kind of a final document, you want to go through the same process you did with your old matrix, which would include reteaching and showing the students what these updates include so that they're clear on what the expectations are now at your school. So here's a simple example. This is a middle school. And, I really like, first of all, it's bright, colorful. It includes the school mascot, and then very simple update they made is they included language that would be probably more appropriate, more interesting, engaging for a teenage audience in a middle school, using swag. And then you can see in bold they've really highlighted key parts of the actions they want their students to understand in those areas of the school. So this will be available to you as well in the document that goes with this PowerPoint. Okay, so this I want you to do by yourselves. This is a worksheet, but I'll walk you quickly through it, So make sure to get to it, you can link it. It's linked here, and it'll also be provided in the guide connected to this lesson. The instructions are, first of all, obtain your own, have your own expectations available when you do this. If you don't have your own yet developed, you can use the sample matrix linked below. And what I'll basically do with this worksheet is, first is it'll ask you to identify your school-wide values. And then it'll ask more detailed questions to help you kind of as a team to think through, when was this developed? Okay, who was at the table and who provided input? So you can see an example from this school that half of the team is new since they last reviewed it, so that's important to keep that in mind. Here are those critical features that can be very helpful when you're revising your matrix to make sure that things are stated positively, memorable, and you saw that with SWAG that included, you could go through that as an example, included many of these critical features. And then thinking about the language, as you think maybe you may make small tweaks to rewrite parts of your matrix. So this worksheet will walk you through these types of questions to help you hopefully produce some improvements or updates to your current matrix. Here's some more information on critical features for you to look at. And then finally, you want to develop some kind of action plan. So after having a discussion with your team, it's always good to walk away with some concrete actions. And here are some examples from the school that I created for this example. And so I want to finish with two things. First is on the left there is that is a one-page guide which will include links for school examples. It will include a link for this video and some other lesson plans that you can use to help guide this process for your school team. And then on the right is a detailed lesson plan that will go through those 6 steps that I reviewed with you today. So if you have any questions, my name and contact is here. Feel free to reach out to me with an email. Be happy to help your team, and good luck. Thank you very much for listening.